welcome to my channel. And if you don't want to miss any of my future video, don't forget to subscribe my channel, and also don't forget to hit on the bell button below. So today in this video you're going to watch a very beautiful designer sleeves like this. There's going to be a really trendy and beautiful sleeves. So I teach you a very easy method to make the sleeves, and this is how it's going to look once it's done. So let's get into the video. So to make the sleeves, I just made a sleeve pattern like this, and the length of the sleeve is like 16 inches. You can make this pattern only on a 3/4 or a full sleeve. Okay, so now from the top of the sleeve, I'm making a half circle to the one side of the sleeve. The sleeve is folded in half, and the height is like 8 inches. Okay, so now I'm going to cut into the sleeves like such. So the length of my sleeve is like a 16 inches because I'm going to make it like a 3/4. So it just depends. If you want to make it like a 3/4, you can give like 16 to 17 inches. And if you want to make as a full sleeve, you can give like 19 to 20 inches of height. And now I'm going to cut out the half circle like such. Okay, and when I open that, I show you how beautiful it's going to look. It's going to look like a exact circle. So you're going to make an exact circle like this. So just take a paper, any kind of newspaper, or just place it underneath. And basically you don't want to move the circle from the position that what you place the paper, so that it just stays on the track. So just take a piece of fabric like this. So the width of this fabric is like 3 inches, totally 6 inches actually. It's folded in half for 3, and now I'll be attaching that to all the 6 sides of the design. Okay, so now just placing the paper underneath, I'm going to sew on the exact circle like this. Okay, so little by little you're going to sew on the circle because you need an exact circle. Don't stretch the fabric, ease with the fabric and sew on top like such. Okay, so once after making this, you're going to prepare the strips of fabric that you're going to attach the sleeves. Okay, so this is a strip of fabric with the 6 inch of width, which is folded in half for 3 inches, and you're going to sew on the one side like such. Okay, so I just took 2 strips like such, and I'd be turning that in. So this is the raw side, that is the wrong side of the fabric. I'm turning to the pretty side, and I'd be pressing that in place. Make sure that the thread line, the stitch part, comes underneath. So this is the marking where I'm going to place the strips. So top and the bottom one marking on, and also a 2 marking on either sides. First you're going to measure how much you need, and you'll be cutting the strips like such. Okay, so when you place the strips on the circle, make sure you just make another circle inside. Okay, so while finishing the video, I'll show you what I'm talking about, the inner circle. So when you gather with a rope, it should make another circle inside. That's the basic thing. So now just fold the strips like such. Make sure that the stitch line is inside, and you're going to join the raw edges like this, and I'm going to make that to my all the strips. Okay, just by joining both the raw edges together, I'm just simply putting a stitch, so that while sewing this to my circle sleeve, I don't want this to move from the place. So to make that secure, I'm just closing it, and I'm sewing on top of that. Okay, so I'm going to do this to all the strips. Again, once after sewing the down part, sewing the raw edges, you're going to sew on top of the strips, leaving a marginal amount of gap, so that you're going to insert a cord into that. So I'm just sewing a very marginal amount, like a quarter inch. So you're going to insert a cord or a thread into that, so that you can gather the sleeves. Okay, so that's the folded edge. So let me separate that, and I'm going to prepare the bias strip once it's done. So this is a bias strip of fabric. I'm just folding the bias strip in half, and I'm again sewing that raw edges together, because once after attaching the strip I'll be attaching this bias strip to finish off the style. So to finish off the raw edges I'm just using a bias strip like this. Okay, so little by little you're going to sew on the raw edges like this, so that it be secured in place, you don't find any difficult while making the design. Okay, so the important thing is make sure all the strips should be placed on the fabric and not on the paper. And again, all the designs, all the things should be done on the pretty side of the fabric. So what you're seeing is the pretty side of the fabric facing up, and I'm just placing all my strips like such. And if you want, you can pin that in place so that everything would be in track. And that's the marking, and make sure I'm just placing that to the center point of the marking. Okay, so you're going to sew all around this circle like this. So totally I'm using 6 strips like such. So the front, the top and the bottom, and either side I'll be attaching your 2 strips like this. Okay, so sewing a circle would be a little bit tricky if you're a beginner. So take your time, sew little by little, and you can finish off the style. It's very simple and very easy to make if you follow the exact same method that I teach you. So now I'm just arranging that and finishing off the design. And for the top stitch, and you can see uh, I'm just placing a bias strip on the top of the piece like such to finish off the raw edges. So make sure that all the raw edges will be matching, that is the sleeves raw edge, the strips raw edge, and the bias strip raw edge. And make sure that you sew on the fabric like such. So again, this is on the pretty side of the fabric. All the work done should be on the pretty side of the fabric. Okay, so sew that little by little so that it will be on track like this. So you'll be having a small opening at the top of the sleeve, so I'll be at made a strip on top of that also. So I can see that, so that the top strip of fabric. And now this is how I finish my bias strip. And I'm just making some notches, because as it's a circle you need to put a lots and lots of notches to get the exact circle, or else you won't be getting that circle. Make sure you cut the strips nice and neat. So once it's done, you're going to turn the bias strip. So when you turn the bias strip, the strip of fabric will pop out nice and neat on its own. You don't want to do anything, just like that, turn the bias strip to the wrong side of the fabric and it's going to come really nice and neat. Okay, so all I'm doing here is I'm just turning the bias strip to the wrong side of the fabric and I'm sewing that on top. Okay, so once it's done, I show you how to attach this to the uh, armhole to get the exact perfect sleeves. Okay, now you can see when you sew on the bias strip, for sure the strip will be popping out on its own. You don't want to do anything, you get the exact design, that a circle design that you like, that you want to, and this is how it's going to look once it's done. Okay, and here comes the tricky part. When you join the midpoint of the sleeves to the shoulder, make sure that you sew on the strip and you're going to come out little by little to the bias strip. Okay, you're going to sew on the strip, and now you can see I'm just sewing on the bias strip of fabric and I'll be coming out like such. Okay, now we can see it just matches perfect to my armhole, and this is how we're going to sew the sleeves with the fabric. Okay, and now it's done. So once after sewing, it's going to look like this. All I'm going to do is I'm going to insert this cord in the place where I have left. So using a safety pin, I'm going to insert this cord on the elements that I given for this. Okay, I think I've sewn a little bit small, so I just find a little bit tough to get into this, but no worries, because of the pin. The pin is a little bit big head, so little by little I'm getting into this. Okay, so in this way you're going to finish off half the way with the one side and half the way with another side. So after finishing half the way, I'm just going to remove the pin and I'm going to continue with the next side of the cord. Okay, like such. You're not going to continue make this. Okay, so when you get into the center point, you're going to repeat the same and you'll be making a nice and neat bow like such. So if you want a little bit loose like this, you can make it a little bit loose. That also looks really an hexagonal shape. When you gather everything together, it's going to make a very beautiful circle shape for sure. And it's too trendy and very beautiful to wear. And it goes well with a neat crop top and also with a kurti. And hope you enjoyed this video, and if you like this video and if you want more trendy design videos like this, don't forget to subscribe my channel, and also don't forget to hit on the thumbs up button below. So see you next time with a different kind of video. Till then, take care. Bye bye. And now we can see how beautiful it is. The center came out really good circle. This is what I told you, have to get a very good circle once you do this. Okay then, bye.